I am.
Why don't you tell everybody your background for the new audience that's joining in this evening?
Sure. Well, my background was military for the most part, but as far as I've been doing research for 25 years on the system of the fiction world called the legal system. It's all fiction. It's all corporate entities laying claim to other corporate entities. I was covering this years back. I didn't quite believe it or grasp it myself until I started really digging into Code of Federal Regulations, statutes at large, implementing regulations, negotiable instruments laws, and started tying these loose ends together and getting a lot more clarity. I'll carry this for a minute. I was just trying to find y'all's Skype address so I could Skype. I have a document, a 43-page document. It's called the Uniform Bonding Code, and it has everything to do with everything, and that's why I don't busy myself with the mundane about civil, criminal, all this other crap. Folks, if you didn't get the memo, it's all about the dollar amount. They're drafting everybody for performance in their system of records. When you step into the bow and come play ball, so you step into that fiction. It looks like you, sounds like you, but it's not you, which was created at birth through the birth certificate bond, and everything was put in play thereafter. Through extensive research over 25 years, I started tying in the loose ends, following the bouncing ball, so to speak, and started researching more about trust in estates. Didn't know much about that. Didn't know that it was really all directly related, and that's all it is they're probating everybody's estate. When they drag you into court through the system, let's cover some specifics here. First of all, it's all compartmentalized in the system. Most of these attorneys don't have a clue. Most of these public pretenders don't have a clue. They don't teach them about the bonds. They don't teach them about what the chicanery is going on in the back room when they bring a guy in court under the guise of that you've broken some sort of law, some statute. It's the statutes that create the bonds, and the bonds are all created out of paper. It's all worthless paper being hypothecated and rehypothecated over and over and over again. Matter of fact, you got to love it. Corrections Corporation of America has, I think, got pretty much a lock in all 50 states to pretty much say that, hey, we're going to keep your jails full up to about 90% capacity. It has nothing to do with crime, folks. It has everything to do with a monetary stipend. You are a money mark. It's no different in the medical community with Big Pharma, FDA. I was in the medical field for 10 years. I know a little bit about what I'm saying on that level. These basically, our brothers and sisters have fallen asleep at the wheel, never knew that they were created and hypothecated at their birth, and I could prove this on every level. Matter of fact, anybody can go over to suijuris.me. That's their website. We have an excellent educational page. It's called Follow the 5 Steps. And if you follow those 5 steps, you will pull back the curtain to this insanity of what you've been binded up into, so you'll get the nickel tour of, it's hard to know how to deal with something if you don't even know that you're getting screwed. Folks, that's why they call commerce intercourse. Yeah, you're getting screwed without the KY. Read the definition, pull it up in your computer, and pull up commerce, and you're going to see the word intercourse. Yeah, well, they're having intercourse with all of us, and they're having a field day. But it's because we didn't know who we are, we lost our way, and we got binded up in a system that our parents weren't aware of, our grandparents weren't aware of. I mean, it's taken them hundreds of years to get this game into play, and through a lack of knowledge, through truth. And this is all we're talking about here, folks, truth. I will prove to you on any level, in any capacity, about this bond garbage, left, right, and center, and give you irrevocable proof, undisputable proof, and that's all it is. Matter of fact, I got a chance to test my so-called theory, which isn't theory at all, because I already knew what the game was because of my research, and I had a young lady named Deatra go down to the courthouse because they were banging her doors in, and I was really pissed off that they were banging her doors in because she literally didn't do anything wrong. Her ex decided to write a bad check against her closed account. She proved that it wasn't her that wrote it. She proved that the account was closed, and they still moved over and moved forward to railroad her, and then they were beating her brakes off with talking trash to her about how they're going to take her kids away. You know, I don't like bullies. Matter of fact, I really despise bullies. But, you know, I'm not going to give them my energy because this game is over. They haven't got the memo yet, but they're fixing to get the memo on a whole different level because the poop is out the elephant, and they're going to get it's all on the wheel. It's all about the bonds. And once everybody gets the game set and match over with, and realize that it's just about the money. They even had the audacity to tell Deatra because she stayed in at the front desk and stayed where she was supposed to, and told them she didn't sign anything. She told them bring the bonds forward. She's ready to settle the account. You have the right to settle the account anytime before it goes to finality with the judge. You don't want to wait to get in front of the judge because he's going to steamroll you if you don't know who you are. So, anyways, I managed to give her an overview for about 30 minutes to give her the nickel tour on what to do, what to say, and how to do it, and she followed the instructions succinctly. And the public pretender ran back to the DA in no time flat, at lunchtime of all things, and told basically the DA that, you know, she's not leaving. She wants to settle the account. Well, they don't want you settling the account, folks. They want to steal your beneficial interest. It's all about the estate. It's all about the bonds. This fraudulent fiat money system, they've been railing on us since 1933 when they took us off the gold and silver standard. Yeah, right, folks, I'm giving you a little history lesson. It's all verifiable. It's all provable. It's all truth, and I pretty much tightened up all the loose ends, so if anybody wants to look into it further, I have repositories for information for people to research it and pull it up and check it out for themselves. I'm not smart enough to make this stuff up, but they are, and they've made it up, and they've committed a fraud upon the masses our entire lives. This whole thing is just one big money scam, and this system is fixing to collapse. It's fixing to go bye-bye. For those of you who aren't paying attention into your world or you're new to this world, you're going to get the memo. They hypothecate everything that you have registered with the state under the Libra code. And, yeah, y'all can go look that up, too. It's I think it's at Stat 43. I'd have to look it up myself. I know I have it on my computer. But anyways, under the Libra code, they've been operating this chicanery that everything that's registered with the state is literally given over to the state, and it's considered abandoned property. Yeah, they didn't give you the memo. So when they roll you into court under the fraudulent auspices, they're looking for a name, the name game, to claim, and they've basically bastardized your name and used it and created a corporate fiction at your inception of birth. When your mother laid over to the state, i.e. a state-run hospital, and they put your birth footprints on that birth certificate, your mother gave you over and didn't even know. Your daddy didn't have a clue that you got laid over in the first place and got registered with the state. Yeah, take a look at a birth certificate bond, folks. It's just got your mother's maiden name on it. Yeah, I bet you never really understood what that was all about. It wasn't a tracking device. It was basically a control device to get you into the game. So your mother gives you over. Your daddy never comes forward to make the claim against the state, i.e. the child, and it's considered abandoned property within the state, and they create a bond on it. They send it down with the county. Matter of fact, I got a 14-page document on suijuris.me. It's called the Birth Certificate Securitization Scam. It's a PDF file that's downloadable for anybody who wants to go there and pull it up. And if you really want to get schooled on what really happened, it's an excellent, succinct, direct overview that will give you a total clarity. So, folks, it's a rabbit hole that goes far, wide, and deep. We weren't supposed to wake up. We weren't supposed to find it out. This is why they're hacking the crap out of Kate's site here these days.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I came in through the back door on my other computer, so, yeah, nice try, guys. Anyway, funny that, isn't it? Yeah, just a little tidbit of information, too, a bit of clarity I got from Maria. So I want to thank Maria for doing some due diligence, and what she located was what was very suspect to begin with. And we're going to carry on with the kindergarten aspect, and people need to hear this. You got to let go of everything you thought was real, because it isn't. But here's a little tidbit of information. You know how I've been railing about the mayors being aldermen for the Lord Mayor, City of London? Well, it is a fact. The Lord Mayor is the king of the corporate world. And one other little overlooked item that I missed, and I have to thank Maria for it, was the fact that the Pope actually appoints the Lord Mayor of the City of London. And given the grasp of Rome being above the UPU, that might just give you, from a law of nations perspective, just the kind of power that the Lord Mayor of the City of London state, that's a country, guys, for those that do not know that. Vatican City, City of London, and Washington, D.C. are all countries unto themselves. And more of the threads unravel. And I do have a call in from, it's looking like California, area code 661 anyway. I'm not sure who it is. Do you want me to just quickly bring them on to see if they have a question out of the gate, and that way we can just rail on through this tonight?
Sure.
Okay, we'll bring area code. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know who you wanted to direct the question to.
Well, I don't know yet. I just want to find out who it is because,
okay.
well, you know,
Let's
I'm
get
blonde
a
Irish.
I guess, huh?
Yeah, I got to figure out who it is. And yeah, area code 661, first three numbers 748. Are you there?
I am here.
Are you listening or?
Well, both actually. I'm not in California. I'm calling in on Skype, but okay. I'm most interested in this subject because I've got a show of my own, and this is right on the same line that I do. Is there any way the one guy had mentioned, you had some phone things, I wasn't sure who it was, it mentioned something about a Skype. Could I give some contact of myself and you guys get with me? I'd like to see about getting him on the show with some of these documents.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually real easy to get a hold of on Skype and email and Facebook. I make a point of it. You can reach myself at, my Skype is katie.renee.thompson. That's KATIE.RENEE.THOMPSON. And my Facebook is Kate Renee, or Kate.Renee.5. So it's KATE.RENE.5. Yeah, the Renee is spelled differently. It's what I got. So anyway, and my email is KatieRenee@live.ca. That's KATIERENE@live.ca. So no one has any excuse as to why they can't get a hold of me. I make a point of it. And we do give out all this information as well. The blog page that I have, that Peter is linked to as well, is www.loveovermind.wordpress.com. And all the documents and what have you that Peter is talking about tonight are available on that site under the Court Remedy Core Process section of my blog page. So no excuses, guys. All the stuff's there. All you got to do is just a little bit of digging. We've already taken the back hose to the whole system and uncovered it all. And Peter, you have such a beautiful way of putting it. So I'm just going to let you continue on. I'll mute your mic again. If you have any questions, just send me a Skype contact. Oh, who am I speaking with, by the way?
This is Lori again. And yes, I'm going to try because that's a pretty long-winded one. I'll see if I can find you. If not, I'll chime in and give you mine and see if you can just connect with me if I can't find you.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, worst case scenario, just fire me off an email, and just want to keep this show rolling along here. I'll keep an eye on my other computer, and as soon as we get hooked up there, you can tag me direct. I'll send a contact request, and I'll mute your mic for now. And that way, if you have any questions, you can just ask me. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Well,
okay, Peter.
Since we're doing hey, brother, or Kate, since we're doing a 101, I would really like, because we never even got any grab time on what is bonding. Let's do a little 101 about legislation, statutes, and how they created these bond actions. So it will give, and that's this is I want to cover a couple pages at least on the 1 through 43 pages on the Uniform Bonding Code, because this is really the meat and potatoes. Everything else is smoke and mirrors and bull crap, and we both know it. So like Education 101 on the court system and the legal system. Screw that crap. That's mammon crap. You know what? We're going for the jugular, folks. We're not going to screw around with this procedure and process. You're going to go through the side door and you're going to whack the suckers in love and harmony, of course. But you're going to tell them to bring forward the dadgum documents so you can settle the freaking case. Folks. It's done. This is kabuki theater. What we're dealing with here today. I mean, everything in this court system is nothing but a masquerade. It's one massive charade. It doesn't matter, civil, criminal. Every case has a bondable amount attached to it, and there are piles. As a matter of fact, a brother of mine uncovered that, and I think it's the AIB radio. I think it's 568 is the reference. Covered for 2.5 hours exactly the dollar amount they're getting off these bonds when they draft you for performance and roll it through the court, and they love dragging it out for months at a time. But anyways, I don't want to go into legal 101 on garbage, on friggin' procedure and a friggin' false paradigm and a false court system, because that's leading my brothers down the primrose path through all the smoke and mirrors. Let's cut to the chase. That's where I'm from, and you know what? That's where the truth really lies. Everything else is a sham, and if you don't get the memo, you're going to walk in and they're going to bang your brakes off. Anyways. This is where I live. You want truth, you're going to get it with both barrels, and you're going to prove to yourself unequivocally if you'll grab these documents that I speak of, this 43-pager, read about what is bonding. I mean, they're breaking it down for us, folks. They never expected us, you know what, they expected us all to be dumbed down, come back to our man caves or our woman caves, and stay stuck on stupid watching NBC, CBS, and all the mainstream media conduits that keep our brains busy with the baloney. Folks, if you come to the right station for truth, because you're going to get it straight up on so many different levels. And you know what? You don't have to chase your tail like I did for 25 years. I've been through all that crap. I've done the UCC stuff, all this stuff that everybody gets their monkey brains wrapped around and gets stuck on these false rabbit trails. You don't have to do them. You don't have to go anywhere. Hey, I'm bringing you to the head of the line. This is the best show that you're ever going to be on, because you're not going to be busying yourself with the freaking mundane, because that's all they have you do. Everything they do is kabuki theater. And if you don't know what kabuki theater is, I think it's men in drag wearing Chinese robes and stuff like that, and the makeup and all that stuff. Well, that's what they're doing. You just got a bunch of bad actors at a corporation who are bleeding you dry because you didn't know what capacity you were operating in, because you didn't know yourself, because nobody gave you the memo. Well, folks, we're going to take you down a rabbit hole so you don't have to go down all the other ones. But this rabbit hole is going to yield you results and facts and truth straight out the box. So guess what? You don't have to go through 25 years of negotiable instruments laws, the Code of Federal Regulations, statutes at large. All this, folks, that's all deadhead. That's their dead man land legal system. Legal, if you look up the word, it's color of law. Color meaning it's not real. Just like the fiat money system, color of money. It's all fiat. It's all phony. It's all fractionalized. Folks, I get a little excited. I talk fast. You got to listen a little fast. I apologize, but the deal is guess what? It doesn't matter how fast I talk. What matters is, do you have a capacity to learn and dig into the documents that I'm providing for free? You come and get them, and you read what I'm reading, and you'll get the nickel tour, and you will understand what I'm bringing forward. This is not baloney. Anyway, so Kate, with that, I'm getting excited. I love bonds.
Yep.
Hey, let's have a bonfire. That's what I say.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's what they're worth. They're worth nothing, folks. It's smoke and mirrors, just like everything else.
Oh, and Peter, I do want to get this out for people, and it's very important that, one, you lose your ego. This is not about vengeance, okay? What this is about is getting knowledge. This is about truth. This is about peace, love, truth, and honor, okay? This is rule one with me. This is not about going to war. This is about going to peace. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Just came across my desk. There's now a warrant out for Drake's arrest. Just to let you guys know, based on, and you already know how I feel about Drake and his rah and go out and get everybody kind of thing. That's that's a belligerent. That is the way of a belligerent, someone who is instigating harm or wishing harm upon others, which is not what we're after here. What we're after is about accountability, where those that have already wished harm have already chosen by their actions. So this is about going to peace. And it's a big piece of crow pie to swallow, because what Peter is about to reveal to you is a duping and a screwing over of a magnitude that you had no idea, but you will. And what I want people to find in this is the piece of the truth, and how, not just finding out how, we got screwed over. It's our own ignorance. We have to hold the mirror up to ourselves here. But it's so important that you get this concept. This is about understanding how the system works, how we got trapped, and at the end of it, when you grasp what we're talking about, how to get yourself out of it. And it's not that difficult. It had to be simple, and it truly is. And it really is about knowing yourself. And as one City of London lawyer told me a very long time ago, quote, "It's all about contract," unquote. And that's all he would say. So anyway, there you go. Peter, start in with the bonding and let these people know exactly how they got trapped. And keep in mind, lose the legal shite, guys. It's all distraction. This is that is the smoke and mirrors. What we're going to be giving you tonight is pure, unadulterated, get you in the face truth. Peter, all yours.
Yep. Anyways, you have this bonding document on your site, correct? At WordMind Press, Kate? I'm asking, do you have this 43-page document?
Yes. Sorry, I was muted there. Yes, everything that Peter is going to discuss tonight in terms of documents can be got at loveovermind.wordpress.com, and you will go to the Court Remedy tab. You will click on that. It will open up another page. What you're going to do is go down to the left a little bit, and you'll see a heading, a small heading called Core Process. All the documents are in there. Carry on.
Hey, folks, don't be afraid of it. Hey, this is beautiful stuff. You'll get it. If I got it, I'm just a high school grad. I'm not the smartest blade in the drawer, but I actually absorb what I read, and that's what I tell everybody. So this is not about being educated. This is about you're going to get educated, but this is about not having a master's degree in something. You don't have to be an attorney to attorn to steal from somebody to give to another. That's what an attorney does. So I don't have any use for those folks. But you know what, folks, we're not warned. How you put them in the box is you basically they're a private corporation. Matter of fact, Rod Class came out with some excellent information this past week. I think I sent that off to you, Kate. I'm not sure, but anyways. I just like to move forward. This is a 43-page document. It's called the Uniform Bonding Code. So for anybody who's in attorney land listening, you're going to get educated too, because I realize that the whole system is compartmentalized, and I'm going to cover that just for a second so everybody understands. The screwing of America and the screwing of the masses worldwide and under this IMF code, International Monetary Fund, these are just funds being collected for the banksters. It's like a tax. Anyways, they create plausible deniability at multiple levels in the system. They are the masters of deception. They've done an excellent job. Their courts are nothing but ecclesiastical courts, folks. If you don't understand what ecclesiastical is, you're going to have to go look it up. I'll give you the words, and you can write them down, and you get to go look it up, because this is how you educate yourself. I don't want to carry my brother's water or my sister's water. I'm going to let them carry their own. So when I give you terms and stuff like that, feel free to write them down, because this is how you get your education. That's how I found out what I know. But anyways, take a look at I'm going to give you just a quick overview about the compartmentalization of the system. So, because you're saying, how could these people get away with it? Well, folks, the deal is there's so many wheels in the cog, and one person has one specialty in one area, one has another specialty in another area. They're not all on the same page. So in essence, that creates a plausible deniability within the system. It is a very clever mechanism, like the public pretenders, which I call them, because that's what they are, saying they want to represent you to Mammon, to that guy in the black dress called a judge, a magi. Look at the word, folks, magi, magistrate. That's what he is. And that's why everything's in a box. You can't be heard. You're considered a dead entity. Yeah, I can't make this up. I'm not the smart. Like I say, I'm just not that smart. I can prove to you everything I say. I'm going to give you some information, folks, as we go, so you can get some clarity for yourself. Matter of fact, here's something else you can look up for to prove what I'm saying. First of all, you've got what's called the SESQUE Act. It's CESTIUQUEVIE Act of 1666. You can punch it in your computer. It'll come and bring you right up to a 3-page PDF. And it's like a declaratory statement that the Vatican owns all, and they've claimed everybody, including their souls. I have an excellent video, so write this down. You're going to want to watch this video. It's called The Vatican Owns Your Soul, done by Santos Bonacci. And the last 20 minutes of the hour video he does, he succinctly explains exactly what's going on to the court, and it's going to give you a front seat tour because it's literally about the terms. They use terms like executor. They use terms like administrator, trustee, and beneficiary. The problem is you're the beneficiary. What they do is they switch hats with you in court, and they create, through their trickery, to allow you to basically become, the DA puts the charge on you, and basically comes down to he who lays the charge pays the bill. Well, you stepped into the bow by accepting the contract, by creating a controversy, stepping into the fiction name, the all-caps name of the corporation, and we're not even aware. So basically they call that drafting you for performance. But this is the irony, folks. Let's get back to the compartmentalization. I don't even know how much the damn DAs know. I mean, folks, I've never talked to a stinking DA, but I know they know stuff. I know they know some stuff. I just don't know. Now, I know the clerks that sit in these judges' courts, they know a lot more than they're letting on. I had the ability to go to this county's here court, and I, inquire. I'm like, hey, I'm a gold digger, folks. I'm looking for the gold nuggets under the stones. I chase them. So I went up to the third floor of the this county and went and had me some FaceTime with a clerk of the court. However, she wasn't the ones that sit with the judges. She was the one that just administrates up in an office. Well, I got to talking to her. I brought some honey. I'm not a half-bad-looking guy, so I put some charm on it, put a little Navy charm on her. And she was very, very receptive to my questions. And so I brought some documents with me, the bid bond, performance bond, payment bond, which were blank documents, not filled out. And I just wanted to know, because I knew what was going on behind closed doors, folks, but I'd never ever got a confirmation. So I said, you know what, I don't want to take anything on assumption, presumption, or whatever, or conjecture. I want to put the baby to bed. So I said, what the hell? In for a penny, in for a pound. I went upstairs and I asked her. I says, is it you? I handed her the 3 documents, blank, and I said, now that we're having a conversation a little bit about bonds and stuff, I said, is it you that oversees the putting these bonds together administratively? And she goes, no. Well, and then I looked at her. She goes, I don't do them. It's the clerks that sit with the judges that do those. So, hey, folks, there you go. This is my proof. She gave me a verbal truth, telling me straight up she doesn't do those bonds, but somebody else does, i.e., the other clerks that sit with the judges. So that was my confirmation. So nobody can say that, hey, I'm conjecturing here. It was another proof. However, this is the proof that, see how the compartmentalization happens. Here's a clerk that actually works in the court. They don't all have the same knowledge, folks. They keep them separated. They keep the lines between them. So am I right, Kate?
Yeah, I just wanted to, that's another beautiful point, Peter. And I'll jump in periodically, but I want you to keep going here. What I really want to get across to people here is, and I'm speaking to those that may be in the law or legal profession, you are as trapped as we are. And you are kept even more deliberately, and I use it in the lightest sense that I can, you are kept even more dumbed down than the masses because you are the absolute cogs in their wheels, and they don't want you in there, the ones that are working in this system. They don't want you to know this because they want you to feel good about your car and your $500 an hour and the fact that you think you're doing something for society when you're putting, quote, criminals, unquote, away, and all the rest of it. So it's basically an ego feed upon you. And the truth of the matter is you are in more ways more trapped than we are because you have sworn for lawyers in particular, you have sworn 3 secret oaths. And much of the power of what you have given away, you have no idea. You have no idea. This is not the physical game that you think it is. It is a much bigger game. And we can get into that on another show, maybe a bit touch on it tonight. But we're here to help those within the system to get them out. They're deeper in it than we are. And it's our job. That's why we go at peace. This is not about war. This is about peace and waking them up. Okay? So I just wanted to get that across. This is where you love thine enemy, nemesis, which means enemy, shortened. Nemi is from nemesis. It means love thine, no vengeance. So there it is. Carry on, Peter.
Right.
Feeling great.
And that's good. I'm glad you clarified that, Kate. None of us are coming with anger against our brothers and sisters who are in the system, because they've been duped down and literally kept naive into. And here's another point I'm going to prove. I got a brother of mine here over on this side of the country who's got a good buddy of us, his over in Philadelphia, who's an ex-judge. However, this judge wasn't really high up on the pecking order. And my brother Bill knows a ton about bonds. He's pretty literate, just like I am. He's ex-Air Force, 26 years Air Force, E9. So I'm just giving you him as a reference of his 26 years in the military, that we weren't dealing with a clown at the circus. If you're an E9 in the military, you're God. You're a water walker. They don't screw with E9s in the military. I did 10 years in. I know very well. So I'm giving you this man as a reference, as having deep, concerted conversations with a judge who used to be on the bench, who stepped down because they were actually transitioning him into knowing more about the deep, dark secrets, and he got uncomfortable enough where he left his judgeship and he called it a day. I guess he had for lack of a better term, he had a conscience, so he stepped away. But even he, and I'm going to share a little story with you to prove about this corporate garbage, that you're just a corporation, because in commerce, in intercourse, that's what they call it. Look up the definition of commerce, and they have the capacity to basically. He went one step further as far as for all those that came into his court, because he knew what he was doing was probably, he had it. Like I say, he had a conscience, and he would ask each client that come to, or each not client, but each individual that would come into the court. He'd ask him, "Are you a corporation or are you not?" And if they say, "I'm not," he would just throw the case out. It never went anywhere. It was done, because he was getting the tie-ins on this corporate status. And like I say, when I was talking about when you step into the bow on any of these other courts and you walk in as the all-caps name, the fiction, they're looking to draft you for performance. And that's exactly what they call it, folks, drafting you for performance. It's their vernacular, not mine. I just followed it. Anyways, what they mean by drafting you for performance is they're looking for you to make accepting an offer. That's why they want you to hire a public pretender. I hate using that word, but it's the only one I know that fits. And they want to appoint you somebody to be a mouthpiece, because you're considered a decedent. You are considered an imbecile. You are considered a ward of the state, and incompetent. Folks, I didn't make up the definitions. It's in the book. Read up under ward of the state. That's what you're classified when you take on an attorney to represent you for the case. They're looking to, since you can't speak on your own behalf because you're considered a decedent, they have to appoint a mouthpiece for you. So you are incompetent to handle your own matters forthwith. And all these public pretenders do is they do deals. They cut deals. You could have 19 charges. Yeah, we'll throw out the 18. Folks, it's really just about the money. And I'm going to prove to you, at least to give you a leg up on the truth before this show's over, that you'll have a little continuity of flow in your mind, that it's literally just about the stinking money. They really don't want us looking beyond the bow, folks. They've dumbed us down to the point of incapacity, and because we're operating without a net. We really don't have a clue what's going on, and they don't want us to. So you have the capacity and the ability to change that, and that's the objective here. That's why you're here. So you're going to get some exciting stuff. What I'm going to do is I was just trying to prove some points about compartmentalization. They don't all know about the deal, but what happens is I think this is what I'm assessing. I'm a 2 + 2 = 4 type of guy. You got the judge up on the bench, and nobody wants to make the judge up on the bench mad. So, i.e., the DA, the public pretender, they consider him God. Well, he's just, to me, he's just for lack of a better term, a bitch in a black dress, pretending to be God. They want you to go into the court so you can do penance. If you want total clarity on what I speak and what happens and goes on in court, you need to go to suijuris.me, SUIJURIS.me, and go to my videos page, and you want to watch The Vatican Owns Your Soul. This will give you 10 times more clarity than hearing me babble on incessantly. So you want the nickel tour, you want to go here, Santos Bonacci's the Vatican Owns Your Soul, and it will give you a lot more clarity onto the black magic that's literally going on in those courts, and that's all it is, folks. Anyways, I actually have a 5-page document breaking down exactly what happens in court. It's under the trust documents, under the trust subheading. So go ahead and click on that first document. It's a 5-pager, and that was put together by my brother, that 26-year Air Force vet, who actually was able to watch the video, and he condensed it in a nickel tour about the Sesquiv Trust and how they're collecting on all of our beneficial interests. You are supposed to be the beneficiary, but like I say, they lay you over in court to have you operating in a different capacity you are unaware of. But what I want to cover a little bit is about bonding. Okay, this is how the state is supposed to operate, but it's not. They're flying without a net, and I've gotten verification and proof. I like to do my homework, and pretty much in most counties throughout the country, they're operating without a net. What I mean by that is every case is supposed to be bonded by the one who brought the charge, i.e. the state or the DA operating on behalf of the state. So he brings forward a charge to make a claim. Well, to protect the state from malfeasance of his officers going rogue or doing something ignorant or basically causing you a damage, there has to be a bond in place in order to draft the case, to put it in play. So they're taking up a charge, i.e. a charge is the statute. They have the indictments and the charging instruments, and they're all instruments, folks. They're for money, revenue generation, and so in order to get the ball going, they're supposed to have their own bond for every case. Problem is, after researching through risk management is where all the bonds are supposed to be kept for all the officers of the court. That includes judges, clerks, and DAs, as well as public pretenders. Apparently, these days they got one umbrella bond, but technically they're all supposed to have their own individual bond under the umbrella, and that's what's supposed to be brought forward to draft the case, to put it in play to protect you from any unlawful act by them. And that's what I'm going to give you a little go by on tonight. And this will give you a little bit more understanding. And this is called the Uniform Bonding Code, and it's available for all on Kate's site. So go ahead and download it. It's free. It's all good. And this will give you, for those inquiring minds that want to know, especially if there's anybody in the legal system, folks, you want your true nickel tour, this is going to blow your brains out. You're not going to believe what you're going to read. But it's like I say, it's more than a smoking gun. Like I say, I don't put anything out on the street unless I can prove it, and I can prove it on multiple levels and already have. Matter of fact, I proved it on a level when I sent Deatra into the lion's den to go settle the damn account. They were so excited about her wanting to settle the account, they threw the damn case out. So, folks, and then the public pretender or whatever had the audacity to say, or the DA, calling her up, I think an hour after or maybe at the time, saying, sweetheart, it was nothing personal. It was just about the money. So, folks, hey, you got to love it when they tell the truth, which is, I think he was a little bit worried that he was going to go looking for his hazard bond that didn't exist to put the case in place, so he was nervous, so he was making nice with her. So that's the only thing I can put. They're never nice most of the time. So I was saying, what was his modus operandi in this case when he was nice to her and saying, sweetheart, yeah, well, when you threaten a woman to take her children away, for a friggin' act that she didn't even commit, and then you having full knowledge and a forethought that this case was brought forward with her not even signing the damn canceled the check on the closed account, and that it was her ex because he was mad out of spite, wrote a bad check, and she brought him the proof on the closed account, brought him everything, and they still pursued her. So, folks, I guess that pushed me over the edge. So, you know what? It's education hour. It's bedtime for Bonzo because it's time to put this scam to bed because this is what's been going on. And now, you know, I got pissed off enough where I'm actually letting the poop out of the elephant for the whole world to see. They're never going to be able to put it back in, folks. You can't go back to La La Land or Alice in Wonderland because once you know this, you are going to have the full-blown truth. So let's start with what is bonding. This is the forward. In their legal systems, all of the acts of an artificial person, such as a corporation, which they classify you as, or a municipal corporation, which is their courts, are included in three general classes of action, namely legislation, adjudication, and execution. That is the creation of policies, i.e. or statutes, legislation, which is the creation of processes designed to enforce the policies or statutes, adjudication. I know this is sort of legal stuff for you folks, but it's really not that complex. You'll read it, you take your time, you might have to read it 5 times. Sometimes I got to read stuff 10 times, but I eventually get it. Anyways, on these enforcement of these policies or statutes by a mercenary agent, i.e. officer or officers of the corporation, which is the court. Each of these acts, you notice how they use the word acts, folks, and that's all you got in these courts is bad actors. Contractors, they're looking to contract with you in commerce. So the words give them away, and this is what we've uncovered through their wordsmithing, and that's what I call it, wordsmithing, where you think of it in one definition, you think of the word person as one thing, and they have it classified in their legalese as something else, and it's totally verifiable of what I speak. Anyways, each of the acts of a corporation involve their own separate liabilities, so each act must be separately insured, and that to the degree which each act is separately probable to create a damage. So let me break that down in legal, in simple, folks. So in essence, when the DA brings a charge, because the state's taking up the charge and they're a corporation in commerce looking to contract with you, they have to put their bond in place to protect from malfeasance or unlawfulness causing you a damage. So they're supposed to have what's called a hazard bond on the case, so as not to create any liability for the state should this DA or lawyer or attorney or whatever who's ever brought the deal has some skin in the game. Well, we found out they don't. Anyways, so each general class of actions is regulated by a set of insurance policies. Those are called tontine policies or bonds, and the character of which is peculiar to that class of actions. Bonding is an insurance of a job against the damage which it performs might cause to persons or property. Folks, so what they're doing is they're constructing a bond, and matter of fact, it says it on the bid bond. They are construction bonds, and they're constructing a case against you. So it's not to build a building, it's to construct a case to lien you into perpetuity or get you to be the surety to create all the liability. Because America is a limited liability corporation, everything has to have somebody take the fall for it. And that's how they do it, is through your bonds. Anyway, so they have to bond the insurance of a job against the damage which its performance might cause to persons or property, i.e. you. So bonding is applied to the conception of the job, to the end product of the job, and to every step or stage in between the first and last stages in law. Bonding is applied to. Number 1, the conception of legislation of the statute. Number 2, the enforcement of the statute. And number 3, to every process in between legislation and enforcement. So bonding a municipal corporation is gambling on official behavior. You got to like the words they use, folks. They're telling you straight up. That's what insurance policies are. It's gambling. Matter of fact, I learned that. I actually was in the securities business for a while and had to go to insurance school and all that stuff, and they said, yeah, basically insurance is considered gambling. Anyways, bonding a municipal corporation is gambling on official behavior, and each application has its own odds for success and its own terms of a payoff. In the mathematical theory of insurance and bonding, the bond on one statute, enforcement process, or officer is no more transferable to another statute, enforcement process, or officer, respectively, than the insurance policy on one motor vehicle to be transferable to another motor vehicle. So they can't switch horses in midstream, folks. The bond is on the specific statute, and they have them rated in their insurance thing on what the probability is that they're going to collect on it. So just like no, you couldn't bet on one horse in one race and one in another. You can't transfer it to one horse or another in that race. Anyways, bonding principles and maxims in plain language. The purpose of bonding is to provide redress for accidental damage and to prevent deliberate negligence, i.e. gross negligence, deliberate damage, and criminal malpractice, i.e. malfeasance. Yeah, that's what I was saying a little earlier. So civil malpractice bonds are designed to protect an agency from its own officers. That's like a wayward DA going off the plantation and whacking you outside the box. Anyways, so those civil malpractice bonds are designed to protect the public from official accidental malpractice. That's only if it's accidental. If it's not, if it's done with malfeasance or if it's done deliberately, it's no longer going to cover their bond. That's why they never put their bond in place, because if people really knew that they were flying without a net, it'd crush them all. Anyways, civil malpractice and civil malpractice bonds are bonds against situations that might occur in a statutory construction, legislative, in the enforcement process, judicative, or in the enforcement act of an enforcement officer, executive. So, a misuse or a misapplication of a statute of a public office is deemed civil by a bonding company if it is accidental, and it's deemed criminal by the bonding company if it is deliberate or the result of gross negligence. So a bonding company issues a bond. That's the risk management departments. They get the bonds to them, and so a bonding company issues a bond on a statute or on an official process, act, or office only against accidental misuse or misapplication of the statute or official process or act or office. So why a uniform bonding code? Let's take a look at this. In reality, a government rules first by force. Yeah, most of us have dealt with that. And only secondly by the consent of the people governed. But energy, I got blindsided here for a second. Sorry. Anyways, but energy is the primary resource for all actions, folks. Take a look at the words they're using here. This is what I'm trying to get you on the page. They're using your energy, your res. That's why they want you to be a resident of your county. The stinking word gives it away. When you claim to be a res under USA Inc., they're going to when they draft you for reports, they're going to get your energy, i.e. your res. I mean, their words, they're flawless. I mean, but they have deleterious effects against you if you don't understand the capacity whence they're being used. So anyways, since energy is the primary resource for all action and money is its social symbol, consequently, the public method of bringing malfeasant officials or municipal corporations under control always has been and is and always will be economic. You are a money mark, folks. I'm giving you the straight skinny here. Only that government which can be sued by the public, though, or whose officers can be sued by the public, can be made to answer. I'm getting sidetracked here, Kate. 1 second. Anyways, one momento. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna stop and take a breath here in a second. I just want to get through this first page. Anyways, so the authority of a government is purchased by the government for the government. So, folks, they're actually, so with money called red, collect by force or by threat of force, for example, by taxation and fines, and 2, by threats of imprisonment, or 3, by selective prosecution in favor of the municipal corporation, and 4, by the claims for payoff on bonding companies. Anyways, municipal bonding is intended for accidental misuse of power, folks, not deliberate. And everything they're doing today is considered deliberate because they're flying without a proverbial net. Their cases aren't bonded by them, they're bonded by you. It's like a double jeopardy type thing. because when they step the case in, they're not supposed to be able to have brought this case forward without having their hazard bond, i.e. their skin in the game, and they're not using their skin, they're using yours, because they drafted you for performance when you walked into that court and answered up to the fiction name. Then they got a game, and then they're asking you, what do you want to plead? And once you put a plead, you created a controversy. Doesn't matter if you plead innocent, guilty, or nolo contendere. It doesn't stinking matter, folks. They got a game. You stepped in to play ball. They were looking for a victim, and they just got you because you didn't know no better. Well, that's all right. We're going to move forward because this is exciting stuff. So many officials think that they can do no wrong and hide behind the limited liability and the bond of the municipal corporation for which they work. They forget the real basis of their authority, and only when malfeasant officers have been drawn out into the open, away from the veil of limited access to and the limited liability of the municipal corporation, can they be compelled to answer civilly for their antisocial behavior and be made to surrender their own personal property for their own unlawful acts. Folks, I want to cover this for a minute. For most of you who don't understand limited liability is he who makes who brings the charge. In other words, they need to have a liable party. So when you step in and say you own something, or like i.e. into transgressing into the name, you are literally saying that you're the owner of something, so they want to put the liability on you. However, with that being said, when the officer brings forward, or when I got lost again, folks. Anyways, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Anyways, so only when a malfeasant officers have been drawn out into the open, away from the veil of limited access to and the limited liability of the municipal corporation, can they be compelled to answer civilly for their antisocial behavior and be made to surrender their own personal property for their own unlawful acts. Anyways, folks, what I'm trying to say is, when that DA brings the case, he was supposed to put up his own hazard bond, which he is bonded by the risk management department in that county. Well, the problem is he's not bringing his own bond because he got you to use yours. However, he remains there, or she remains there, naked and open to the world in full commercial liability, i.e., since they failed to act in the proper modicum of bringing the case, they superseded process. In other words, because they failed to put up their bond, they're now flying without a net, as I so succinctly put it. And when I mean flying without a net, what that means is because they didn't put their bond up to draft that case for performance, they used yours. That's what you call a bait and switch. So it's, like I say, almost a double jeopardy on you, which is not good. So in essence, instead of them having to put up they've been getting away with this for years. This is why it's never been broached, folks, because everybody thinks it's just status quo and, oh, well, hey, we're doing business to settle these criminals and whatever. Folks, it's not about the criminals. It's just about the stinking money. And I'm going to prove it on a different level here in a little bit. So the point I'm trying to make is when that DA or whoever brought the charge on behalf of the state is operating without his so-called hazard bond, that's the only thing I want coming off that man's lips is saying, hey, you're operating your full commercial liability because, you know what, you haven't put your bond in the game. Matter of fact, I looked for it, couldn't find it at risk management, so I'm going to need to see your bond. Without seeing your bond, you can't move this case forward because you're committing a fraud upon the court. Folks, you're not supposed to know this stuff. What I'm telling you here and now, I can prove irrevocably on every stinking level, and this is going on in every swinging court in America. You are a money mark. Matter of fact, here, I want to cover something else because I'm a reader, and I actually research, and I was just reading this just a little bit ago, just this past week, that look at the symbols on the stock market. CCA, Corrections Corporation of America, has just locked and loaded, I think, in all 50 states to guarantee for their private corporation to get maximum capacity, i.e. warehouse merchandise, that's human bodies in their merchandise warehouses called jails, and keep it at a minimum max capacity of 90% or better so that the states can generate more funds and more monies. Folks, I know this sounds insane. Believe me, I thought it was when I started reading it, and then I started uncovering this and uncovering that, and it's like, folks, everything I'm saying is 100% true, but this is the most pathetic, underhanded, scum-sucking, bottom-feeding garbage I've ever had the ability to uncover, and it really, really does take me off point, because these are people who are doing these dirty deeds on my brothers and sisters. They have no souls. I mean, I don't know how some of these people wake up, especially these judges who are doing these dirty deeds. You know, they're void. They're void of literally any feeling whatsoever. Who died and left these clowns God, folks? You know what? That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, we are stuck on the plantation because you're asking for permission and consent to do everything in your life. Now they're creating carbon tax, this, that. I mean, I'm getting off on a tangent, folks, but I'm trying to prove some points here. These are just control mechanisms, and they've done an extremely successful job of dumbing you down to the point of not asking questions. Well, you know, folks, I'm just not one of those guys. You see, I'm the square peg in the round hole, have been my entire life, and I'm like the inquiring minds want to know. So, folks, I have no problem with asking questions. Matter of fact, but the whole point being is this cannot go on any longer. This is garbage, and it breaks my heart to see brothers in jail for garbage. I mean, they can. You got these attorneys indicting on ham sandwich, just like they say. I mean, when they were going to do this dirty deed to my sister Deatra, that's what pushed me over the edge. I said, you know what? I'm going to bust loose on this bond bullshit because I'm really, really pissed off now because I've seen the underbelly of the beast. I've been a victim to the underbelly of the beast firsthand, and I know exactly what's going on here. So that's good. But you know what? I'm about warring with them. I'm about let's come back to honor and let's set the record straight. So you know what, folks? Accountability is the key word of the day, and these people think they're accountable to nobody. They're fixing to be accountable on a different level.
Hugely.
So I'm going to cover one. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not sure if Muggsy's even had a chance to jump in here. Yeah, I do have Ubuntu on my other computer, hon. Yeah, they can't hack it. I know that. I love it. Anyway, it's currently offline right now. I can't get it online. But anyway, just wanted to. I haven't heard it most of the show here. I've been trying to get back on. Now, Muggsy, have you had a chance to introduce Muggsy or introduce yourself? Or I'm such a tardy host here. I'm so sorry. Just getting hacked kind of slows me down.
I know. I've been waiting. Pete has some great information, and I have a lot of my friends who are legal counsels who are fighting the system, and where Pete is way advanced from what they are working with. So what I would like to do is ask some questions of Pete if he could fill in the gap so that my legal counsel, and these are not real attorneys, these are the common law legal counsel, self-taught men and women that are trying to get to where Pete is. First of all, I want to know, tell me about jurisdiction.
You give it over once you step into the door. You lay over it when you step in to do business, i.e. in the commercial capacity, you gave over jurisdiction. They have jurisdiction if you walk in, and not only that, you're basically once through your i.e. birth certificate bond, once you came into the world, as you structured through the system and got yourself your social security number so you could work and the driver's license and all these other fancy little things that they say you have to do. Well, that's so they can draft you for performance and get you in the system. So you create the jurisdiction by your actions, by your incapacity or inability to know that all these adhesion contracts have deleterious effects upon you, but nobody gave you the memo. Because this is, sweetheart, this rabbit hole goes so far wide and deep. But let me, since we're talking about jurisdiction, I'm going to give you the nickel tour on jurisdiction. When you go to get a driver's license and you step into the brow and you go fill that paperwork out, you signed over via your SIN/signature to do business and to operate a motor conveyance so you could travel from point A to point B. Well, in God's world, you don't need a license. But in their world, in the fiction land, they created a system as a control mechanism. As a matter of fact, it started back, I think, in 1908 in the state of Massachusetts. I was reading something on that back then, in reference to that. But anyways, this is the point I'm trying to get to you. Sweetheart, have you ever read what it says on that driver's license application? I'm gonna be requiring you to answer me whether you have or you haven't.
No.
You've never? So in essence, this is the point I'm trying to make. we keep doing stuff, but we don't read nothing. And this is how they bind us up, is through this duplicitous act, because everybody's in such a rush to get out the damn door. Well, sweetheart, right here in Virginia, I went to DMV and I read the damn contract from front and up. See, because of having my background in my research, I said, how does this adhesion contract bind me up into this system, i.e., and traverse me into jurisdiction? So I said, I'm going to read that damn thing. So I went in, and I was going to get me a new driver's license, and I said, it expired in 2008, and I just couldn't bring myself to go get another driver's license. I knew how this thing works. So I said, man, what the hell? I'm going to go in and read the damn thing. So I went in, I actually read it. And at the top of the page, sweetheart, this is going to give you your epiphany or your V8 moment. It specifically states in there that you are a vessel in commerce. Do you understand what that means, to be a vessel in commerce?
And that has to do with being a ship? A vessel?
Right.
Or are they talking about a corporate entity? But you know what? We have people that have gotten the transportation document and are not using a license, and we have judges that are calling for people's arrests. We have people being smacked around on the road by cops.
Can I jump in here, Muggsy? Okay.
Yeah.
Here and I and a few others have been railing for so long, because what you're dealing with there is what I call the lottery. What they do is they let a certain number of people win here and there to give everybody the illusion that you can win the lottery. It is all smoke and mirrors, and I don't care what piece of paper anyone walks around with, unless if it's in their system. Once you're out, it's a different story. That's where divine providence comes into play. This is why Peter and I are doing this in a rearguard action for those still stuck on the plantation before they get into divine providence. This is to try to expose the system. No, we aren't. We're not trying. We're doing it.
So, anyways, what's your Muggsy, right? Anyways,
yeah.
So basically, you bind yourself up. What you do is you complete the contract when you go buy insurance. Remember, everything in USA Inc., and you are well aware that in 1871 that the USA about in 1863 under the War Powers Act since Lincoln, when they left sign a day, the Congress, and then they moved forward thereafter, they actually in 1871 incorporated USA Inc., so it was a shadow of its former self. It all looked, smelled, and tasted the same, but it was it's called the bait and switch. It was the master bait and switch. I didn't mean that to come out like that. Anyways, I got a sense of humor. I heard what I said. I need to retract that statement. Anyways, you got to have a sense of humor. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, so when you read this document that I speak of down to the DMV, it says you're a vessel in commerce. So you are laying over into them, i.e. registering, and when you registration, read the term registration. Look it up in the law books. It's not a good thing, sweetheart. Regis. Just like claiming to be a resident, they're using the res. That's why they use this vernacular, and it's called professional wordsmithing. You're not supposed to get the vernacular and the terminology and how it's truly being used in the legal sense. You just think they're interchangeable terms in common language, but they're not. They have deleterious effects and have had for years. But here's where the bind that ties, you put the bow on it for them. When you go out, you register the vehicle. When you go purchase a vehicle at any dealership, they lay over. Do you know what the MCO is? The Master Certificate of Origin. Do you know what that is?
No, go.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I know what it is, but go ahead, Peter.
Anyways, sweetheart, I'm trying to tie this up into a loose end so your mind will be on this little nickel tour. So you complete one part of the contract by, i.e., going down to the DMV and laying over and registering with them through to being a vessel in commerce. You claim to be a U.S. citizen. You check mark that box. But you know what? Being a U.S. citizen makes you a slave on the plantation. You have no rights. You have just merely benefits and privileges granted by the king, i.e. USA Inc. But what completes the cycle is when you go buy the insurance policy, on that state-registered vehicle that's been now it's got the master title. They burn that, by the way. You never get a copy. You get a copy of a title, but you don't never retain. You just get rights and privileges to use that vehicle until Caesar decides, hey, you know, you got enough points off your license, you can't drive no more. We're canceling your license. It's a control mechanism. This is all this is one massive control mechanism. And so when you complete the contract by going to register to get your driver's license, you go buy, let's say you buy a vehicle, they transfer the title over to the state. It's still holding over into the state's database as registered property. So basically you've laid over claim to the title to the state, and the state has rights in the title to steal that car from you at any given time when you get a roadside stop by some revenue generation agent, for lack of a better term. So you complete it when he asks you for your driver's license and your insurance and registration. There you go. You complete the contract with them, and then you grant it over jurisdiction. You have no rights. There is nothing. The Constitution's a crock of crap, sweetheart. They've been lying to us our entire stinking lives, and I got verifiable proof on that. Everything operates under the Crown. So this is, so you talk about jurisdiction, you gave it over on so many different levels because you've been blinded by the lie. Everything they've told you is one massive lie. They've created this big illusion that you actually have some sort of rights. It's just like voting. When you go do a voter's registration card, you claim to be part of the body politic under USA Inc., not USA the Constitution under original jurisdiction, under USA Inc., the corporation. And it's been going on since 1871. I can't make this up. I'm not that smart. Everything I know, everything I'm spouting off at a machine gun pace to you here tonight, sweetheart, I've dug in. I've read. This is 25 years of knowledge coming out, and it just bleeds out my head because I have so much in my head, and because it's almost unbelievable. But when you tie in all these loose ends, and this is why I say my research has brought me to where I'm at here and now and today, and I can prove every single thing I say about this whole stinking system, and it is a stinking system. It's rotten to the core. You have no capacity, no rights. You are nothing but a money mark for the system, and that includes big pharma, big medical, FDA, the incestuous relationships. Sweetheart, I know how to turn up the money trails. I've been following the money since all this crap started going down, and I can prove everything on that level too. My poor brothers and sisters have been duped to a false sense of security under the guise of this, that, and the other. Anyways, I get excited. I didn't take my medication today. I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you throw me another question, I guess.
Okay. I realize that about the driver's license, and I know that people, I've been told, can get bonds instead of having insurance to protect themselves. But what do you do in the case when you get it's a permit to travel, and then your local state police are harassing you, or they're throwing you in jail? We're dealing with a lot of this at our county levels.
Yeah, well, if you're still in USA Inc., you're screwed. I'm on the other side, sweetheart. I'm not on that side of the fence that these people are still operating under. See, it all comes down to the birth certificate bond. It always comes back full circle to bonds. Until you cut the Gordian knot with the bond that they've laid over on you, and it's parked down in DTC, Departments Trust Corporation at 55 Water Street, New York City, until you move forward and bring forward your estate over off their slave plantation called USA Inc., you have no capacity to not do what your masters tell you, no matter what you think. Yeah, you might get a couple they'll let a couple loose, like Kate says, here and there. It's smoke and mirrors time, so it gives everybody else maybe a false perception. Well, hey, he's not getting whacked. But, sweetheart, you're all going to get whacked and continue to get whacked, because within this carcass rotting thing called USA Inc., you have no capacity until you remove yourself off the slave plantation, and that's what we do at Divine Province, and we're not incorporated. We're an unincorporated association, and I don't have any problems using my international ID. I don't have any problems using my international driver permit, not license. I don't need permission from I'm my own king. I'm in my own world. I don't ask for permissions from USA Inc. because I'm no longer there. But until you remove yourself from there, guess what? They're going to keep beating the brakes off you because you don't know who you are because you're still operating under USA Inc. As a 14th Amendment citizen slave on the plantation. I have a plethora of excellent, outstanding, simple-to-follow information on my website. If all these people here tonight, they need to go over there and get their game on and follow the bouncing ball. It's 5 easy steps. See, I do everything with military precision because this is how my brain works. That's what you got to love the government. They do a good job of training us guys as far as how to do standard operating procedures and create information because I actually train Marines in combat on setting for hemorrhaging, bleeding, broken bones, all sorts of stuff because I was a Navy doc. That was my job to make sure they stayed alive, and I taught them how to stay alive in case Doc took a bullet in the head. So this is where I work. This is how I operate. So we can speak all night on these issues of what I speak of, but I'm gonna make you go blind. You're gonna have an aneurysm. So I'm gonna make this real simple.
Hold up. Because a lot of people don't know about this. Can you please explain the difference between using black ink, red ink, and blue ink, and the significance of putting a box around your name?
Yeah. A box cancels the issue. And, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, now we're talking my language. Matter of fact, I have a document. I keep telling Kate every time we get on this conversation, I got to dig this document up. I got the proof. It specifically states in there in no uncertain terms that when you use black ink, you're considered a decedent. It actually is posted in their stinking rules, their regulations. I actually have the document. I got it sent to me from a buddy of mine back about 5 years ago. So I will find that. So black is you're dead, sweetheart. You're friggin' straight up dead. Matter of fact, I gave a little class to not a clerk, but a notary here in this county. And because I was using red on my documents, because red indicates I'm a live man, flesh and blood. I am operating in my live flesh and blood capacity, not as a dead entity. And I explained this to her. I said before she gave me the notary stamp, which we don't use notaries anymore anyways because we don't need permission from the statutory side. But I was having to go do business with her. And I asked her straight up, I said, do you understand the significance of why I'm using red on this document? She wasn't challenging me. She wasn't making a legal determination for my document neither. But she was looking at me a little funny because I put a blood red thumbprint on that sucker as well as my Peter Eugene. It wasn't a signature. There's a big difference between a SIN/signature and a seal. I put my seal on that document. That's what my biometric data, i.e. blood red thumbprint, because nobody can reproduce that or use it. So anyways, so the significance I told her of red was as a live man coming forward. She goes, that's very interesting. I said, yes, what's even more interesting is why all your documents are signed in black. Did you ever wonder about that? She goes, no. Well, not really. I said, well, yeah, inquiring minds want to know, so I'm going to share with you. I said, because everything that's done in black is considered a decedent, a dead entity, operating in a commercial capacity, in a corporate capacity. She goes, huh, and she gave me this look. She goes, well, that makes sense about how we do a lot of different things. She didn't digress on the information. She just said, wow, now I've got some more clarity. So in other words, I guess I tied up some loose ends in her mind as to why they make them do certain things in the banking system. Folks, it's about rehypothecation and monetization of your SIN, your /signature. However, you want to cank it, you go ahead and put that sucker in a box, put it in red, and I've got proof.
Can I jump in?
I've got proof of it. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey, I didn't take my medication. You got to slow me down sometimes.
I'm getting hacked here, something fierce, guys. I don't even know if you've even talked about the signature yet. A simple little trick that everyone can do. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Fine.
Okay, a simple little trick everyone can do, and I've been railing about this for a couple of years, and we had some beautiful proofs this week with Patrice, and we definitely have to get her back on to tell that story. When you put your box around the signature, you're lifting it off the page. It cannot be monetized. And under UCC code 3-419, when you become the accommodating party, you can do one of two things, a negotiable or a non-negotiable instrument. And when you put a box around your signature, you've just made that instrument non-negotiable. They don't tell you how to do it, but that's how you do it. And it kills checks and money dead. I would even say to start boxing all the signatures on $20 bills and $50 bills and what have you to make them worthless.
And Kate would be right. I have a copy of the negotiable instruments laws. Should you want to dig in and read what she speaks of, dead nuts right. I covered a negotiable instrument law. They consider us actually all banks. Matter of fact, if they go over to the PMG site, which can be located office2ejuris.me, it's on the right-hand side, PMG. He's got a document section, and he breaks this down about in the negotiable instruments laws of this. But you can get a copy of the negotiable. You could probably pull it up on the computer and get it in about 30 seconds. So they're not hiding this. It's all available, but they've dumbed us down to the point of not understanding what we read and having capacity to understand and process the information that we are reading. They've really done a stellar job of dumbing us down and not having us think outside the box. You're not supposed to know this stuff. It's just like I say. I mean, you can't invent this stuff, but there's been tens of thousands of man-hours, thousands of folks just like me who have uncovered this colossal scam. I am not by myself. I mean, this is not I didn't figure all this stuff out by myself. Hey, I stole everything I know. But the whole point being is, it's now with the information age, it's available for consumption for anybody who wants to look at it and read it, and you can get total clarity. But you got to be willing to dig in a little bit, and that's what most people aren't willing to do. And this is why we have the insanity that we have running on, and this is why this whole thing's run amok, because they can get away with it because you don't know your status. They've declared you as not knowing who you are. So you better shut up, sit down, and go get to the back of the line. Sweetheart, I have fun. Let me share with you what I do. See, because I really do know who I am. When I go walk down, I'm looking for an oath of office on a court officer, and you want to stonewall me, I'm going to put you so far in the box you're going to wish you didn't come to work that day. And I don't go in anger or hate or nothing. What I do is I say, hey, how you doing today? And I'll be asking for a document, which I've asked on multiple occasions with these clerks of the court who think they're God somehow. But see, we've taught them how to treat us because we didn't know who we are. But when I walk in these days, I go in and I just say, hey, I need a copy of this lady's oath of office to verify if her oath is in good standing and she's got a valid oath. We don't have that. I said, bull crap. I says, every county's got them all on the books. And I says, you got them in that box. I says, yeah. I says, yeah, I need you go pick it and pull it for me so I can have access to it. And then she started giving me some lip, and I just said, I'll tell you what, go get your boss. I said, I accept your oath of office. Now go get your boss because we're going to get something done here today because, you know what, I think you're warring with me. I think you're warring with the Constitution. And I'll tell you what, within 15 seconds, she's going to get exactly what I want. Because, see, I come in as the man, the live man. I'm not a dead entity. I'm not one of your slaves on the plantation that you can be a concealer with. And they know it when I walk in. So I really don't have any problems with these entities on the level that my brothers and sisters are because I'm in a different paradigm. I operate as a man, and I operate in that proper capacity, and they know it. See, they know how you walk because they know how they shall know us by our acts and deeds. When all my brothers and sisters are milquetoast because they're all still stuck on the slave plantation because they've been told what to do their entire lives. You know, the irony is the military told me what to do for 10 years, but you know what? Hey, I still march to the beat of a different drummer, and I used to give them headaches. Like I used to tell my wife, I said, I don't get headaches, I give them. And she goes, yeah, I know. Anyway, so, when you come from a paradigm of knowledge.
Wait, take a breath. The oath of office, we have some issues here in our county. We have tried to get oaths of office, and nobody seems to know where they are for anybody. Not only that, but we can't even locate anybody's bonds. So
no, you won't be able to. You won't be able to. Listen, it's their game, guys. This is about calling the bluff. And I need this to get through to everyone that's listening right now. You got to call the bluff. There is nothing, and I got cut off when I said this before, there is nothing of remedy in the system. It wasn't designed to have one. You've got to call it, and it's a bluff. It's all about the bonds, period. End of story. Move along. Get the hell out of Babylon. And anyone listening right now, just dial up freedomreigns.us, go to the archives, and download the last 2, maybe 3 weeks worth of shows. Sit tight, meditate on everything that Peter, myself, Dean Clifford, Santos Bonacci, Tony Z, Patrice, everybody, what we've been saying for the last, I've been repeating this shit for 2 years, but here's the bottom line. You just have to download these files and get it into your noggin and just forget about everything you thought you knew, because that is your illusion, that is your confusion, and that is their trap. Get out, get on it, and get it done. We have the keys. Take them, please. I'm tired of repeating myself. Peter, you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again.
You see, you
okay,
have no
then
capacity.
explain the DA, because you said if somebody has a court case, let's say, to go into court's a huge mistake. You've already lost if you go into court, that the battle actually begins before you get into court and to get the DA's butt, and that's where you target. So can you explain that?
Pete, I'll put that in very simple terms for everybody. Okay, when you go into a courthouse, it's a business. They have hours of business on the front. Okay, it's like any other corporation. When you walk in there, you're not in the duty room until you're actually in the courtroom. You conduct all your business outside of the courtroom, because when you're inside the courtroom, they conduct it for you. Exactly. Black and white, guys. Black and white.
But Kate, I think she was looking for the nickel tour on my 3-page document I put together as far as how to settle the account. See, sweetheart, it's all just, hey, we're going to love and harmony. I want to settle the account. That's what I had Deatra do, and she whacked them. They ran. You see, when you shine the light on the cockroaches about the bond issue, see, what I have people do is I say, hey, make copies of the standard form 24, 25, 25A. Oh, it's all downloadable. It's all there. The standard form 28, which is a surety bond, and you got your 273, 274, 275, which is your Miller Reinsurance Act bonds under the GSA. See, so I didn't learn this in 5 minutes. I can spout off this stuff. I live with it. I live it. I internalize it. So if anybody wants to use this, they better internalize it a little bit. But poor Deatra, I gave her the nickel tour. I gave her 30 minutes of my time. I said, Deatra, I need you to pull up these 3 bonds, blank. I don't want you to fill them out. That's not your job. They're already filled out behind closed doors. They've already done the dirty deed. They got the ball in play when you stepped in to let them appoint you some scum-sucking bottom feeder called a public pretender. I said, you completed the circuit. It's all about circuit. Why do you think they call it circuit court? It's about electricity, honey. They're getting your energy, your res. I mean, you got to love the euphemisms they use in the vernacular, because everything's about charge, discharge, go to ground. They got salvage bonds. They got all sorts of stuff. Anyways, the simple tour is located. Kate, do you still have that document that I sent you, the Read Me First document?
Yeah, that's the court demolitions document.
Well, it's the one where I cut. It's the one I cover where you walk in and you're going to settle the account, like what I did with Deatra.
Yeah, I put that on.
And I didn't.
I was going to say, Peter, let me just tell people what it is. When you're looking for it in the court process on the court remedy for loveovermind.wordpress.com site, the document is called Court Demolitions, and that's the document of the step-by-step that Peter is talking about as to what to do to settle the account. Okay, so there you go. No excuses. You know where to find it.
It's got all the PDFs attached to it and everything. Sweetheart, all this is a poker game. When I tell people to go settle the account, they're never going to settle the account. They've already stole the beneficial interest to that account. They got the ball in play, and they're looking to drag it out so they can make some more. Every case, and I could prove this to you. I could prove it irrevocably. A dadgum speeding ticket, yeah, you sign that document unencumbered, i.e. give over your signature on that document, they're making $2 million just on that stupid speeding ticket. I know this sounds insane, but I can prove everything I say. As a matter of fact, my brother Rod Class from AIB Radio did an excellent 3-hour audio specifically covering, because he had this guy on there named Cherry who's actually researched and found the certificates and the bonds and all this stuff that we're talking about. And he said, when you get a misdemeanor, it's got a dollar amount value to it. If it's a felony, it's $8 million. Or if it's so the higher the crime, the more dollar value they get. They have a vested interest in getting you into the warehouses, warehouse merchandise property. So this is really simple. what I'm telling people, if they, like I said, this is what I would do. This is what I know how to do. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. You got to research it, and you got to get it in your head and figure it out. If you aren't comfortable with doing this, then don't do it. If you don't understand it, then don't do it, because you better have your game face on, like Deatra did when I went in and had her go pit bull him over a false charge, and she got the whole dadgum thing thrown out in less than 30 minutes. I mean, they were excited to see her leave because she caught him with her dadgum hands in the freaking cookie jar. That's what this comes down to. It's a poker game. The reason I tell people to do these documents, I don't want them filling them out. I just want them creating the documents as blanks to basically show them that you really know what the hell you're talking about, and they've been caught with their hands in the cookie jar. It's not your job to fill them out. It's your job to show, hey, these are the bonds I'm talking about. I want you to bring them forward so I can settle the account. See, that's going in honor. So as long as you go in honor to settle the account, they can't circumvent process. They either got to settle the account with you or throw the damn case out. It's one of the two, and you don't leave until you get a viable option. And that's what most people are milquetoast, and they let the concealers dictate at the front desk, and I get past them, sweetheart. I have no problems with getting past concealers. I said, go get your daddy, and I mean it. When I say that, go get the DA. Yeah, that's why I call him daddy. I said, because him and I Lucy's got some explaining to do, because I want to see his freaking bond, and I want to make sure he's got skin in the game, otherwise he's flying without a net. When you start bringing up his bond, sweetheart, they don't want to see your face in that court. They want to make that case disappear, and that's what they usually do to it. Matter of fact, yeah, if you do get stuck in going into court, yeah, there's multiple ways you can handle that, but you know what, I'm not in that world anymore, but for those that are, I like to ask, when I was in that world, I would ask who here has the bond for the action being claimed at Constructive Trust Cause number 352178. That's the case number. And you want to see cockroaches run for cover, just go ahead and ask who here has got the bond for the action being claimed. See, because when you mention that verbiage, what you're asking for is who brought the skin to the game. And they know that they used your bond on your behalf under nefarious acts by bait and switch, because you stepped in and traversed into jurisdiction and created a controversy. I can't make this stuff up, sweetheart. I'm just not that smart. But there is a valid option for my brothers that are in the pain, my sisters that are in the pain, if they will dig into what I speak. And I wrote, I went an extra step to put it on paper, but you got to actually read it. See, I got people who send me emails and crap, and they haven't even read the dadgum 3 pages. I said, read me first, and they're not even willing to listen to the 2-hour audio I did explaining my position. So, and then they send me emails, well, how do I fill out the bonds? I said, here's another moron that doesn't know how to friggin' listen to an audio and doesn't know how to read 3 pages of script. I mean, it really pisses me off because they've done an extremely effective job of dumbing down my brothers and sisters not to be able to follow the bouncing ball. I made it simple. Hey, sweetheart, I break it down to the mundane because I was in the military. I had to train Marines. If I could train Marines, I could train anybody, but I got to be able to get them to at least read something. So that's where I live.
Okay. Breathe.
Peter.
I don't need, sweetheart, I don't need oxygen. I'm up in the thin clouds.
Hey, guys, can I jump in for a sec?
Okay,
Sure.
1 second.
Here, 1 sec. I just need a second here. Okay? It's my show. Back off.
I know.
There you go.
Okay, here you go. What Peter's trying to get across is the same thing that's been very prevalent, especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks. We have been getting inundated with literally hundreds upon hundreds of people asking the same stupid answered questions. Okay? And that's not, and Peter's right, it is about the program. I am very well known for slaying egos. I have no time for egos. That is the program. I'm interested in talking to you, the most glorious, perfect being in the universe. So when I go at people's egos, they have to learn the difference. That is the program, not you. That's that's the thing that's making you think it's you. It's not. Anything emotional is program. Okay, so what I want to get across to people is you need to do due diligence. It's like I just said in one of the rooms here. If you want my documents in a room, I'll put them there, but you're going to have to actually click the button to make a contact with me, because it's a lot easier for you to do it once than me to do it, 30, 40, or 50 times in a room. And besides, I've already written the documents, I've already shared documents, I've already built everything that needs, so has Peter. We've done the hours, thousands upon thousands of hours of research and experience here, living the dream. All we're asking you guys to do is just breathe. we get asked to breathe all the time, and that's all we're asking people to do. It's all of a sudden this panic of truth is hitting people, and they're going, but, listen, we've been there, we've done that, we got the T-shirt, we gave it back. What we're telling you now is we have all the audio. The last 3 weeks, Peter, you think? Yeah, about 3 weeks. We got, like I said, we got Dean Clifford in there, we got Santos Bonacci, Patrice, you, me, Tony, Deatra, everybody's in there that will give you all the truth that you need if you can sit down for a day or two and just do your work and put everything you thought you knew aside, because that is program, and we are the ones that have actually broken the program, and we're trying to get that across to you. And I know it's hard to believe, and it can't be. Listen, I spent 28 days in March in solitary confinement, proving that there was no remedy in the system. All right? It's done. The feast is paid for. Ante up, belly up to the table. All we're asking you to do is eat, drink, and be merry.
And I get that, and I appreciate that, and people are going to start looking at this, especially the people that are working with me. So there is two other things that you guys have been talking about, and everybody should know that they have done great jobs on their shows on Wednesdays and Friday nights right here on Freedom Reigns. So you guys do want to go back to their shows starting in September 26th is where Deatra's incident occurred, and Pete goes over that information with Deatra. So you guys want to go back to all those shows and start listening to them and get caught up.
In order.
The other two areas that are very interesting, number one is the global settlement funds. Now, when the corporation talks about the national debt, that's the debt that the corporation owes to the Americans or to us, the sovereign kings and queens. Friday night you mentioned that at some point, those global settlement funds would be made available to the people in some way. Can you go over that a little bit and clarify?
I don't remember discussing that issue.
No, I think Ted might have brought that up. And what I want to get across to people right now, very clearly, lose the concept of money now. Okay? Lose it. That's what has you held. That's the mono-eye, the one-eyed God, the idol. And it's got everybody looking in the wrong direction. It is their illusion. Money should not exist, period. Okay, so when we talk of the global monetary funds and all the rest of this crap, lose the concept. It's all illusion. Okay, the system is coming down, and I'm making damn sure it does. That's my goal, because that's what kept mankind enslaved and entrapped. It's kept cops chasing like dogs. They're chasing cars like dogs for treats called tickets. They go back to their masters. They get a little pat in the head and a little check in their pocket that they think is worth something, and it's all debt. Do you like carrying bills in your purse? No. Well, you do. They're called 20s and 50s. Okay? Yet everyone is out hell-bent for leather to try to gather as much debt as they can. I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. Look at you with all that debt. It's all in here.
Yeah. Kate, we give her the nickel tour. All she got to do is read that 14-page document on the birth certificate securitization scam, and it covers hypothecation to a T. It's an excellent read, and a brother of mine wrote it up, smartest dog in the room. I couldn't have made it up any better. Anyways, it's not made up. It's reality. And it will give you a concerted overview of what we speak. So it will pretty much tie in the loose ends on the bond issue, because it all starts with the birth certificate. So once you understand that, and I can send you a copy. I can send you a copy in 30 seconds. I got my birth certificate bond. It's on bond paper. It's got the nice red digits on it and all that stuff. And so for all those in denial, that's on a river in Egypt. I can, matter of fact, go to my website and look at under the subsection 3, under the step 3, it actually a slave who owns you. There's a bond on there from Louisiana with the red digits, the same as mine. So, that's why I put the meat and potatoes on the site, so you can actually dig in and say, well, he's got to be making this up. He's just crazy. He's from Mars. Yeah, well, they've all been looking at me like I've been Mars for the last 25 years, but I'll tell you what, they're not looking like that anymore, because I can give you irrefutable proof. And as long as I can do that, then now you have You can't go into cognitive dissonance and into denial to what I'm trying to show you and tell you. I can, it's not been photoshopped. I got a copy right here in my house. I send it off to everybody. Anybody wants to see a birth certificate bond, I'll be glad to share one. We'll share one with them. Anyway, so you've got a sort of you're actually in a better position than most because you have a half a brain in your head and you're using it. All you got to do is follow this bouncing ball, and you'll get so much more clarity. You don't have to busy yourself with this procedure and these sorry-ass courts because that's legal land. So this legal 101, throw it out the freaking door, sweetheart. This ain't about legal. It's about settling the damn accounts. All they want is some money. Well, hell, we'll go down and settle the damn account and give them some freaking money. Then they throw the case out. Well, hell, if that's the outcome, then that's a good outcome, and they're done. So that's the objective here. It's a poker game. And once you understand, you pull the curtain back, they run for cover.
Well, Peter, just to jump in on that one for a second, you say, they want the money, and that's fine. Here's the thing. When you actually get the case thrown out, there is no money. They don't get money. When you go into court, whether you win, lose, or draw, depending on how they feel that day and whether they want to make you the lottery winner so that you can go and tell your friends you won in court so everyone else thinks they can, at which point you're done. The fact of the matter is they cannot hypothecate any more signatures. That case is done. There is no money in it. If you want to keep your fellow man enslaved, by all means, keep doing that. Because what you're doing is you're enslaving yourself by your own belligerence, and that's why they keep everyone in fear, anger, and the biggest tool they have is religion. That they take the most perfect book in terms. Well, they're all mystical books: the Quran, the Bible, Kabbalah, and all the Torah, whatever. They're all the same story, but no one knows how to. Well, I won't say no one. Some of us know how to read those books for the truth that are contained within them. Yet the Rome has been selling it as a literal story for 2 millennia. And it is. It's just they're just metaphors and allegories. None of that stuff is literal. None of those characters existed. End of story. So you gotta, this might rub those that are church-going Sunday types. But I'll tell you this right now: you're literally worshiping the Satan they created, and you have no idea what you're doing. I deal on a very quantum level of what is really going on here, and we get into that in a very big way with Tony, usually on Friday nights. Friday was a particularly different night in that Ted from Divine Province. And I will recommend people, if you want to understand a bit more about what Peter was talking about, get over to postmastergeneralna.org and start getting educated and get off the plantation, because we as humans cannot deal in the fictional world. It's not how it works. And unless you
Kate, the best portal so that they're not totally vague and indescript in their minds is to go to suijuris.me.
Yeah.
I've got the education page with the audios, the videos. Everything's posted there for consumption, for verification and proof. So that's really where you want to start. Don't worry about going over to PMMG for a minute until you get your mind right and deal with the fact that you've been told a scam your entire ever-loving life. It's like Kate was saying about the religion stuff. I'm an excellent researcher. I've uncovered this sham on religion's another scam too. Welcome to my world. Do you understand in 1933 that they laid over all the churches to come into Mammon and bow down to the churches for a little bit of lucre, i.e. a tax break under the 5013C corporate status? And do you understand how that had deleterious effects on the whole church to create an impotent church status? And they're literally, and I broached this issue with every pastor in the last 10 years on churches that I've gone to, and not one of them can come up with it's called Hushmail or hushmoney.org. That's a website. If you really want to find out the real rabbit hole about 5013C corporate entities, i.e. churches, and I broached this subject with multiple pastors across the land, and when I start broaching this information, they all just lay silent. You know why? Because they've asked for permission, but they didn't have to ask for permission. Matter of fact, all churches were unencumbered from the get, even here in Virginia, and they weren't liable to even have to lay over to step into the 5013C. But in 1933, when they took us off the gold and silver standard, they created another scam to get all these church-going pastors to get legal counsel to bring them into the corporate umbrella so we can make the churches impotent to real truth like what we're talking about here, because you'll never hear about this in a pulpit. Anyways, so that was another. And just like IRS, I'm sure you're probably not aware of this, but this is how I came to where I'm at this minute through this research, and you need to know this. This is why I'm on the other side of the fence now. I'm trying to share with you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You guys talked about something else that's really important, and I want to wrap up with this. One is that instead of doing the lawsuits, you guys have come up with a better way, which is the writ, going after the charters, the bonds, and stuff like that. Can you explain that briefly and why that is more poignant and where people can go to get that assistance?
Nope. And I'm telling you straight up, no, because y'all ain't ready. Y'all haven't even gotten to base one. I'm not going to dialogue and put you in the deep end about writs and all this other stuff when you don't even understand.
You don't know who you are yet.
Excuse me?
I'm going to say, people. I'm just telling people out there, you don't know who you are yet. You need to know who you are, and you may think you do, but you don't. I used to think I did too, and that's why you've got to spend the time on suijuris.me. That's SUIJURIS.me. That's Peter's site with a lot of background there. There's not a lot of work to do here, guys. The work's been done. We've got it all put together. And then if you want any of the documents, you just go to my blog page, which is loveovermind.wordpress.com. And I make myself very available to people. So I've given out my contact information. Feel free. Give me an email. I'll put you on my email list, katierenee@live.ca, and you get the stuff in real time as it comes out. You get notified of every show, of all the downloads, and Peter, myself, and a bunch of others. This is all we do, and we're literally running the rearguard action to get as many people off the plantation or.
Yeah, they busted you, Kate. Muggsy, you still there?
Yeah, I want to say thank you. This is the first time I've really heard this information, and a lot of my listeners, it's the first time. And you guys explained it briefly, but also gave them the places to go to locate the information so we can start digging. I know my listeners are used to doing research and standing in their power, so I know that they will. And I know that the legal guys that have been fighting the courts, if there's an easier way to get remedy, I'm sure they'll be taking it. So I want to thank you for giving me this time to grill you guys and get some more information for the newbies. That was really cool of you guys. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Hey, sweetheart, I wasn't being a jerk when I said no, but I got you so far in the deep end, you can't find your butt with both hands. And I know that sounds sarcastic. But sweetheart, I know where I come from. I'm not in the deep end. Y'all got to have a starting point. So you know what? I don't want to bury your brain with the mundane. I'm not in, like I say, I'm not in your arena. I'm way outside that arena. I'm not being beside myself. I'm trying to declare to you that I went through this for 25 years. I'm gone. I'm done. I've already left the plantation. I'm well the hell off of it. But you have to have a starting point. Otherwise, I start taking you to writs and all this other stuff. You got to have a starting point. So come to the starting point and enjoy. You know what? You're getting the nickel tour, and you're going to have a lot more clarity in about. It's going to take you a little bit. It's probably going to take you about a month to get to digesting some of this information. But you are on the fast track. You are on a whole different track than everybody else. And if you could just follow the bouncing ball a little bit, I promise you'll have clarity of thought that you never thought possible. So that's why I didn't want to get you. I already got you in the deep end. I wasn't going further in the deep end because, hell, we didn't get past base one yet. So let's get to base one. Matter of fact, step one on suijuris.me. It's called Changes on the Horizon. It's a 1 hour video. Go ahead and watch that. Just start there. I promise you, if you follow the bouncing ball a little bit, watch the Santos Bonacci video that's also on there, what's going on in court. It's a 1-hour video, and you will have a lot more clarity because, so I could speak on this stuff for hundreds of hours, and you're still not going to, I'm going to lose you. You know what? I don't want to lose you. I want to get you. So, you know what? You have a starting point, and when you go there, I promise you, follow the bouncing ball. I printed the 5 steps, and you're going to have a lot more clarity, and then you need to go and dig in a little deeper on my education page, the audios and the videos and stuff. Nothing on there is the mundane. I don't put garbage on my sites. If I put it there, I put it there for a reason. There is no filler. This is steak, sweetheart. Okay. We didn't bring our ribs. We're not eating baby food.
Hey, Peter, just to clarify for the listeners as well, in layman's terms, what Peter is saying, what I'm saying is you don't have to go and read the Uniform Commercial Code, all of it.
Right.
You don't have to read the United States Code, criminal. You don't have to know all the different processes that have been presented. We've been in this for years. What we're trying to say is we've saved you. We've taken that steak that Peter speaks of, and we've trimmed all the fat off, and the only thing left right now is the most precious morsel of pure delectability sitting in the middle of the plate. What we will give people are specific references to show how simple it was to get us trapped in the first place. And again, you could spend, never mind a month, you could spend years trying to go through all the stuff that we have. What is that we've walked the road. We have found the way through. This is not about belligerence. This is about settling the account and going to peace, not being in controversy or conflict with the system. The system is here to help us as much as hurt us, and vice versa. We just have to change our perspective and go to peace on this. The bottom line is very simple. It is about the money. It always was, and it always will be until we destroy that illusion. And it is as simple as the bond. If you listen to that 45 minutes with Peter and Beatra, you will get a real life, in time, like real time description of what happened less than 3 weeks ago. And the victories from Wednesday night show. If you need to be empowered, listen to October 17th show before you listen to anything else, and you'll start to understand what it is we're talking about. And this is about not getting your head filled with garbage. And I'm talking legalese. I speak it fluently, and only to the point where I needed to understand how much garbage it was. But deciphered the English language, tongue pledge, langage, angle or angel-ish, letter, right down to the letter, right down to the flower of life creation itself, where it was all created. And it is black magic. Law is black magic. And you got to stop playing with the devil. And that, you got to remember, we talked about this earlier today, Muggsy. The papal bulls that come out of Rome, and this is a proven, not provable, this is a proven fact. Those papal bulls in their black magic were written on the skins of children that were sacrificed, and their blood was used to write on it. This is the kind of entity that we're dealing with. These are the dark principalities that we are up against. And those that go to church that came out of the Christian faith, remember, it was created by the same beings that stripped the skin off children after sacrificing them. If that's the God you wish to worship, I wish you the best of luck, and it wouldn't be something I would do, and that's your choice, your free will choice, and I, under the golden rule, allow you to have that. And the joy of the golden rule is that which you sow, so shall ye reap. So if you are flowing energy towards man, don't be asking questions as to why something just messed up in your life, because that's how this universe works. Ebb and flow, law of correspondence, cosmic laws, that's what we work under. We've seen the light, and we're just trying to show the way through. That's all.
And, hey, if we ever do a call again, I'll take my Quaalude next time, all right, Muggsy?
Oh, no, you won't. And then I want you to, Peter, because you're way more...
You know I won't. Yeah, I got... Sweetheart, this is how I'm wired. Yeah, I know I'm an excitable type guy, but you know what? Like I say, the truth is busting out of the seams, and this is the way how it comes out of me. So, you know, you can't control this horse, you know. I'm sorry, that's just the way I run, and when I run fast. So, you know what, but... You'll all get it in a minute. I gave you direction of flow. You have the keys in your hand. I just gave them to you. Go over to the site and start there. And I promise you, you're going to have an experience of a different paradigm, literally almost overnight, if you'll follow the bouncing ball. That's why I created it. I see, I couldn't do this all by myself. So everything I got, I've created or brought forward is I've gotten from somebody else who's done the diligence and the footwork and helped me get where I'm at. So, like I say, let's not busy ourselves with the mundane, and you won't if you go to that site. I promise you.
Yeah, this is beautifully put there, Peter. People like myself and Dean and Santo, we've all stood on the shoulders of giants, and we're just trying to bring that to the fore as well. I've been very blessed being able to chat at length very regularly with people like Mary Croft and Dean and Mark Holland and Peter and Santo and all these people. I mean, and they're all so well versed in their perspective of how we look at it. And what we've been doing is putting all this stuff together into very digestible, here it is, can you handle the truth bites. And this is about letting go. This is about letting go of the old paradigm and lose the whole notion of going into court to win, because you will not. Or you might. They might let you win to sell more lottery tickets for the next fools behind you. But remember this, when you go into court, you are actually harming your fellow man by doing so, because you're generating money for the system. Every time you sign something, you're generating money. And these are very simple truths. And again, Peter, I'll just ask you, we got like 2 minutes here, so I just want to get this out. If people listen back the last 2-3 weeks of Outside the Box with all the shows that we've done, I think it's pretty clear. I think if you just follow that bouncing ball, you'll be miles ahead of where you are right now. And we're talking hours, not months, hours from now. So, but yeah. Anyway, we got 2 minutes left here.
I think that one.
What's that?
The revenue generation coming in my front yard. I was figuring we were going to have some dialogue.
Oh, cool.
It's my next door neighbor. It's for my next door neighbor, ain't for me. They don't want to come to my porch, I promise you.
Yeah, oh, I know they don't.
I'll be asking for the risk management bond on the front end.
Yeah, I need the SF 24, 25, 25A, SF 273, 274, 275, and by the way, give me an affidavit on the SF 28. Next people talk.
Yeah. And they discontinue. They usually discontinue the conversation and have a nice day. That's what I like.
It's all good. All right, guys, we got just over a minute here. Tomorrow night I'll be joining Muggsy, or not tomorrow night. I'm doing another special edition tomorrow night because Santo can't make it. But Monday night I'll be joining Muggsy, and I'll be announcing that tomorrow night as well to keep people in the loop, plus those in my email. So don't hesitate to get a hold of myself. And you can get all Peter's information at suijuris.me, SUIJURIS.me, and my stuff's at loveovermind.wordpress.com. Please don't hesitate. We're here to help, and that's where our frustration is. We just want to help, and it's not happening fast enough for us. But Muggsy, thanks so much for coming on tonight, and we'll definitely chat lots more on Monday night on your show. Quick plug, you got 20 seconds here.
I'm just really excited because you guys have done all the work for me. I've known this was coming. If people go to psychicmuggsy.com to my 1998 predictions, you can see where I predicted all this. So I've been waiting for you guys to do all this work so we can learn from you and do it a lot faster. So this is really exciting. Thanks for doing all the hard work.
You're welcome.
No problem. Okay, we're off the air now, so this is just recorded. People can get this afterwards. But thank you again, Muggsy, for coming on. And Peter, as always, it's always a treat to run the racetrack with Peter Revere. Oh my God, you rock!
Yeah, I know. I just don't have a slow gear. I'm sorry.
Hey, are you up for hanging out with me tomorrow night? Because I want to touch on some stuff with Santo, and he's not going to be on the show with some of his stuff, and continue on with this. It's to try to simplify stuff even more for people.
Sure. Hey,
okay.
Gladly. I'm in.
Okay, well, we'll chat tomorrow.
Can you elaborate
ahead.
about December 21st and the significance about that? Because people will eat that up. They would love to know that stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow night. And again, it's 4 to 6 your time, I think, isn't it? No. Yeah, 4 to 6 your time tomorrow. I know it's your only day with your beau, but if you want to even jump on for half an hour or something, just let me know. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys. It's been fun.
Hey, have a great night. Thank you.
We'll talk tomorrow, Peter.
Kate,
Take care.
Okay, let's get on Skype together real quick and shoot me the download whenever it gets done too.
Okay, that's why I want to get off the air here so I can do that.
Okay, let's do that. All right, I'll get up with you on Skype.
Okay, be right back.
All right.
All the stuff's there. All you got to do is just a little bit of digging. We've already taken the back hose to the whole system and uncovered it all. And Peter, you have such a beautiful way of putting it. So I'm just going to let you continue on. I'll mute your mic again. If you have any questions, just send me a Skype contact. Oh, who am I speaking with, by the way?
This is Lori again, and yes, I'm going to try because that's a pretty long-winded one.
Right.
I'll see if I can find you. If not, I'll chime in and give you mine and see if you can just connect with me if I can't find you.
Oh, like I said, worst case scenario, just fire me off an email, and just want to keep this show rolling along here. I'll keep an eye on my other computer, and as soon as we get hooked up there, you can tag me direct. I'll send a contact request, and I'll mute your mic for now, and that way if you have any questions, you can just ask me, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Well,
okay, Peter,
since we're doing hey, brother, or Kate, since we're doing a 101, I would really like, because we never even got any grab time on what is bonding. Let's do a little 101 about legislation, statutes, and how they created these bond actions. So it will give, and I want to cover a couple pages at least on the 1 through 43 pages on the Uniform Bonding Code, because this is really the meat and potatoes. Everything else is smoke and mirrors and bull crap, and we both know it. So, like Education 101 on the court system and the legal system, screw that crap. That's mammon crap. You know what? We're going for the jugular, folks. We're not going to screw around with this procedure and process. You're going to go through the side door and you're going to whack the suckers in love and harmony, of course. But you're going to tell them to bring forward the dadgum documents so you can settle the freaking case. Folks. It's done. This is kabuki theater. What we're dealing with here today. I mean, everything in this court system is nothing but a masquerade. It's one massive charade. It doesn't matter, civil, criminal. Every case has a bondable amount attached to it, and there are piles. As a matter of fact, a brother of mine uncovered that, and I think it's the AIB radio. I think it's 568 is the reference. Covered for 2.5 hours exactly the dollar amount they're getting off these bonds when they draft you for performance and roll it through the court, and they love dragging it out for months at a time. But anyways, I don't want to go into legal 101 on garbage, on friggin' procedure and a friggin' false paradigm and a false court system, because that's leading my brothers down the primrose path through all the smoke and mirrors. Let's cut to the chase. That's where I'm from, and you know what? That's where the truth really lies. Everything else is a sham, and if you don't get the memo, you're going to walk in and they're going to bang your brakes off. Anyways. This is where I live. You want truth, you're going to get it with both barrels, and you're going to prove to yourself unequivocally if you'll grab these documents that I speak of, this 43-pager, read about what is bonding. I mean, they're breaking it down for us, folks. They never expected us, you know what, they expected us all to be dumbed down, come back to our man caves or our woman caves. Well, they don't want you settling the account, folks. They want to steal your beneficial interest. It's all about the estate. It's all about the bonds. This fraudulent fiat money system, they've been railing on us since 1933 when they took us off the gold and silver standard. Yeah, right, folks, I'm giving you a little history lesson. It's all verifiable. It's all provable. It's all truth, and I've pretty much tightened up all the loose ends, so if anybody wants to look into it further, I have repositories for information for people to research it and pull it up and check it out for themselves. I'm not smart enough to make this stuff up, but they are, and they've made it up, and they've committed a fraud upon the masses our entire lives. This whole thing is just one big money scam. And this system is fixing to collapse. It's fixing to go bye-bye. For those of you who aren't paying attention into your world or you're new to this world, you're going to get the memo. They hypothecate everything. Everything that you have registered with the state under the Libra code. And, yeah, y'all can go look that up, too. It's, I think it's at Stat 43. I'd have to look it up myself. I know I have it on my computer. But anyways, under the Libra code, they've been operating this chicanery that everything that's registered with the state is literally given over to the state, and it's considered abandoned property. Yeah, they didn't give you the memo. So when they roll you into court under the fraudulent auspices, they're looking for a name, the name game, to claim, and they've basically bastardized your name and used it and created a corporate fiction at your inception of birth. When your mother laid over to the state, i.e. a state-run hospital, and they put your birth footprints on that birth certificate, your mother gave you over and didn't even know. Your daddy didn't have a clue that you got laid over in the first place and got registered with the state. Yeah, take a look at a birth certificate bond, folks. It's just got your mother's maiden name on it. Yeah, I bet you never really understood what that was all about. It wasn't a tracking device. It was basically a control device to get you into the game. So your mother gives you over. Your daddy never comes forward to make the claim against the state, i.e. the child, and it's considered abandoned property within the state, and they create a bond on it. They send it down with the county. Matter of fact, I got a 14-page document on suijuris.me. It's called the Birth Certificate Securitization Scam. It's a PDF file that's downloadable for anybody who wants to go there and pull it up. And if you really want to get schooled on what really happened, it's an excellent, succinct, direct overview that will give you a total clarity. So, folks, it's a rabbit hole that goes far, wide, and deep. We weren't supposed to wake up. We weren't supposed to find it out. This is why they're hacking the crap out of Kate's site here these days.
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I came in through the back door on my other computer, so yeah, nice try, guys. Anyway, funny that, isn't it? Yeah, just a little tidbit of information too, a bit of clarity I got from Maria. So I want to thank Maria for doing some due diligence, and what she located was what was very suspect to begin with. And we're going to carry on with the kindergarten aspect and people.
Pete, are you here?
I am.
Why don't you tell everybody your background for the new audience that's joining in this evening?
Sure. Well, my background was military for the most part, but as far as I've been doing research for 25 years on the system of the fiction world called the legal system. It's all fiction. It's all corporate entities laying claim to other corporate entities. I was covering this years back. I didn't quite believe it or grasp it myself until I started really digging into Code of Federal Regulations, statutes at large, implementing regulations, negotiable instruments laws, and started tying these loose ends together and getting a lot more clarity. I'll carry this for a minute. I was just trying to find y'all's Skype address so I could Skype that. I have a document, a 43-page document that's called the Uniform Bonding Code, and it has everything to do with everything, and that's why I don't busy myself with the mundane about civil, criminal, all this other crap. Folks, if you didn't get the memo, it's all about the dollar amount. They're drafting everybody for performance in their system of records. When you step into the bow and come play ball, you step into that fiction. It looks like you, sounds like you, but it's not you, which was created at birth through the birth certificate bond, and everything was put in play thereafter. Anyways, through extensive research over 25 years, I started tying in the loose ends, following the bouncing ball, so to speak, and started researching more about trust in estates. Didn't know much about that. didn't know that it was really all directly related. And that's all it is they're probating everybody's estate. When they drag you into court through the system, let's cover some specifics here. First of all, it's all compartmentalized in the system. Most of these attorneys don't have a clue. Most of these public pretenders don't have a clue. They don't teach them about the bonds. They don't teach them about what the chicanery is going on in the back room when they bring a guy in court under the guise of that you've broken some sort of law, some statute. Well, it's the statutes that create the bonds, and the bonds are all created out of paper. It's all worthless paper being hypothecated and rehypothecated over and over and over again. Matter of fact, you got to love it. Corrections Corporation of America has, I think, got pretty much a lock in all 50 states to pretty much say that, hey, we're going to keep your jails full up to about 90% capacity. It has nothing to do with crime, folks. It has everything to do with a monetary stipend. You are a money mark. It's no different in the medical community with Big Pharma, FDA. I was in the medical field for 10 years. I know a little bit about what I'm saying on that level. But anyways, these basically our brothers and sisters have fallen asleep at the wheel, never knew that they were created and hypothecated at their birth, and I can prove this on every level. Matter of fact, anybody can go over to suijuris.me. That's their website. We have an excellent educational page. It's called Follow the 5 Steps. And if you follow those 5 steps, you will pull back the curtain to this insanity of what you've been binded up into, so you'll get the nickel tour of, it's hard to know how to deal with something if you don't even know that you're getting screwed. Folks, that's why they call commerce intercourse. Yeah, you're getting screwed without the KY. Read the definition, pull it up in your computer, and pull up commerce, and you're going to see the word intercourse. Yeah, well, they're having intercourse with all of us, and they're having a field day. But it's because we didn't know who we are, we lost our way, and we got binded up in a system that our parents weren't aware of, our grandparents weren't aware of. I mean, it's taken them hundreds of years to get this game into play, and through a lack of knowledge, through truth. And this is all we're talking about here, folks, truth. I will prove to you on any level, in any capacity, about this bond garbage, left, right, and center, and give you irrevocable proof, undisputable proof, and that's all it is. Matter of fact, I got a chance to test my so-called theory, which isn't theory at all, because I already knew what the game was because of my research. And I had a young lady named Deatra go down to the courthouse because they were banging her doors in. And I was really pissed off that they were banging her doors in because she literally didn't do anything wrong. Her ex decided to write a bad check against her closed account. She proved that it wasn't her that wrote it. She proved that the account was closed, and they still moved over and moved forward to railroad her, and then they were beating her brakes off with talking trash to her about how they're going to take her kids away. You know, I don't like bullies. Matter of fact, I really despise bullies. But, you know, I'm not going to give them my energy because this game is over. They haven't got the memo yet, but they're fixing to get the memo on a whole different level because the poop is out the elephant, and they're going to get it's all on the wheel. It's all about the bonds. And once everybody gets the game set and match over with, and realize that it's just about the money. They even had the audacity to tell Deatra because she stayed in at the front desk and stayed where she was supposed to, and told them she didn't sign anything. She told them bring the bonds forward. She's ready to settle the account. You have the right to settle the account anytime before it goes to finality with the judge. You don't want to wait to get in front of the judge because he's going to steamroll you if you don't know who you are. So, anyways, I managed to give her an overview for about 30 minutes to give her the nickel tour on what to do, what to say, and how to do it, and she followed the instructions succinctly. And the public pretender ran back to the DA in no time flat, at lunchtime of all things, and told basically the DA that, you know, she's not leaving. She wants to settle the account. Well,
people need to hear this. You got to let go of everything you thought was real because it isn't. But here's a little tidbit of information. You know how I've been railing about the mayors being aldermen for the Lord Mayor City of London? Well, it is a fact. The Lord Mayor is the king of the corporate world. And one other little overlooked item. that I missed, and I have to thank Maria for it, was the fact that the Pope actually appoints the Lord Mayor of the City of London. And given the grasp of Rome being above the UPU, that might just give you, from a law of nations perspective, just the kind of power that the Lord Mayor of the City of London state, that's a country, guys, for those that do not know that. Vatican City, City of London, and Washington, D.C. are all countries unto themselves. And more of the threads unravel. And I do have a call in from, it's looking like California, area code 661 anyway. I'm not sure who it is. Do you want me to just quickly bring them on to see if they have a question out of the gate, and that way we can just rail on through this tonight?
Sure.
Okay, we'll bring area code. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know who you wanted to direct the question to.
Well, I don't know yet. I just want to find out who it is because,
okay.
well, you know,
Let's
I'm
get a hold,
Irish.
I guess, huh?
Yeah, I've got to figure out who it is. And, yeah, area code 661, first three numbers, 748. Are you there?
I am here.
Are you listening or?
Well, both actually. I'm not in California. I'm calling in on Skype, but
okay.
I'm most interested in this subject because I've got a show of my own, and this is right on the same line that I do. Is there any way the one that I had mentioned, you had some phone things, I wasn't sure who it was, it mentioned something about a Skype. Could I give some contact of myself and you guys get with me? I'd like to see about getting him on the show with some of these documents.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually real easy to get a hold of on Skype and email and Facebook. I make a point of it. You can reach myself at, my Skype is katie.renee.thompson. That's KATIE.RENEE.THOMPSON. And my Facebook is Kate Renee, or Kate.Renee.5. So it's KATE.RENE.5. Yeah, the Renee is spelled differently. It's what I got. So anyway, and my email is Katie Renee at live.ca. That's KATIERENE at live.ca. So no one has any excuse as to why they can't get a hold of me. I make a point of it. And we do give out all this information as well. The blog page that I have, that Peter is linked to as well, is www.loveovermind.wordpress.com. And all the documents and what have you that Peter is talking about tonight are available on that site under the Court Remedy Core Process section of my blog page. So no excuses, guys.